Today, I'm going to talk to you about what I refer to as your karmic chakra. As I've told you before, there are 7 major chakras in the body, several minor chakras. Most of them are at the joints or bends in the body. There are also chakras out of the physical body and in the energy field. And many different healers or seers work with various ones. And the ones that have revealed themselves to me that I use often are the ones that I'm teaching to kind of let you in on the way I work and how I turn to these areas of a person's energy being to source information and healing opportunities when I'm in session with them. I hope you enjoy our time together.
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
When I explain the definition of karma to people, I definitely do turn to Hinduism and Buddhism because that's where we get this term. But I also tell people it's like if you line up all your various lifetimes, no matter where they've been and who you've been and how you've been, it's like chapters in the giant book of your soul. And so many times one chapter could play to the next, could play to the next. And so your actions basically in this incarnation, according to karma or the principles of karma, your actions in this incarnation and how you choose to live this life or promises you make or kind of belief patterns or vows you take might ripple over into the next life. And in a way, some people feel that then fate comes into play where you are destined to behave a certain way or act a certain way or be a certain way. I've found in my experience, because we have free will, we do have a lot of decision-making powers. And I also know in my healing work, we can also kind of disrupt the karma. We can cut ties, we can rewrite the future based on what we desire. I do think, though, that in my experience in working with people, a lot of the wounds that they carry in this incarnation or a lot of the strengths that they carry in this incarnation don't come from this lifetime. They come from prior experiences. And so there's a part of me that can really resonate with karma and the idea that the sum of your actions in this lifetime and the way you exist in this incarnation and the choices that you make in this incarnation will definitely affect future lifetimes if they are unresolved or you have kind of debt to pay, if you will, or rewards to receive. For reference to location, the karmic chakra is just above the higher self chakra. So it is above the top of your head, right? Because the crown chakra is at the top of your head. Then up higher is the higher self, which is a state of consciousness. Above that, higher still, is the karmic chakra. It is not so much, in my opinion, a state of consciousness, although there's a lot of awareness in that energy center of your being. It is more so a repository of soul data. Whether I am doing healing work and energy balance or doing psychic reads and tuning into the various energy centers of the body, I find that the karmic chakra is closely related to the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. The sacral chakra has to do with sacred contracts, relationships, sexual issues, creativity, and new beginnings. And the solar plexus has to do with personal power, self-esteem, who you are, and what you came to do. These are very linked to your karma in this incarnation. If I am looking specifically at who they are and what they came to do, I would definitely look in the solar plexus chakra. But if I wanted to look at their soul path in the long haul, then I would tie in looking at the karmic chakra. Because, like the other chakras that radiate from the body front and back, and the fact that this is in an energy plane in your experience, like the others are also in energetic and physical, the karmic chakra, in a way, kind of, I find when I get the experience, encapsulates your field of energy as well, as opposed to just being in this sustained space. It all varies when I'm working with different people. I could pick up the energy of it at the crown of their head, beyond the crown of their head, or I can pick it up in their energy field, depending where I am working with, honestly. It's all about intention. Because it's an energy frequency, it envelops you, especially when I'm trying to ascertain what is your soul path through not just this lifetime, but various lifetimes that have brought you to this point. It is here, too, that I uncover the energy of psychology within the patterning of the person. So here I might see karmic patterns that are ripe in this incarnation, that have bled through from other lifetimes, that they carry and are maybe either struggling with or being empowered by. And I look at the energy of psychology on how that plays out in their mind and how they do their life and function through their life. And so this information, and as it relates to karmic patterns, helps me when I'm working with the client on the table or in my chair or at a distance to help them unravel various lifetimes that have kept them in a certain kind of repetition. It is in these times that I can look to see the story and just tell them the story or regress them to the pertinent lifetime. In many ways, I wish I knew astrology more than I do, because there are aspects that I am not surprised to uncover or discover when I speak with them and they tell me a little bit about their astrology. To me, astrology is a wonderful thing to have in your backpack of knowledge about yourself and your trajectory in this incarnation, where you've been and where you're headed to. Very important. And your astrology is also kind of set within that space of karmic chakra energy. As you know, of course, we have free will, thank goodness, but we come in with specific gifts, talents, and experiences that are ripe for working with to understand different impacts or different experiences or different awarenesses and different connections to process through this incarnation. And I definitely work with the karmic chakra when looking at that for myself, coupled with the astrology. And so sometimes if you look at the trajectory of your life and you see where were pivotal moments, whether maybe they were even pivotal moments of illness, there sometimes is a what are you running from or what's coming up from you that has you, just kind of completely a transformational energy that's happening with you. I don't want to get too deep into that. I just want to expose you to that and mention it to you, that if you were to look back on your life, you might see some pivotal moments where, you couldn't get away from a person because they were heavy on your heart, or, there's this incredible link. There's, I can't get them out of my mind. That could be because there's a karmic tie, right? So all of these things are happening with the interplay on the karmic chakra. Even though I might pick up the energy on other chakras, I always turn to the karmic chakra if there's soul promises that you've made, or vows that you've made, or karmic ties, or life path lessons. I am going to cover these topics in future episodes because they're too vast to put in this introductory episode. And I will also, therefore, get into ancestral inheritance that I pick up in the karmic chakra. But for now, I just want to tell you a little bit more about the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the karmic chakra. I've discovered here there is, of course, no time. There is no time. And so when you are tuning in to your own karmic chakra, and I will have an episode where I get you to tune in, there is an incredible awareness of being able to travel past, present, future, right? This, as I've said, holds the records of your soul's path throughout various lifetimes. It also holds any karmic obligations, any goals that you said you'd go through in this life, and goals that you wanted to reach. Whether you reach them or not are free will and up to you. Just as a parenthetical aside, that is why a lot of people see me, because they're unhappy. And once I remind them of what their life goals are, and they figure out how they can start reaching those goals, happiness comes back and settles in their core being. But sometimes when you have karmic obligations and you let yourself down because you don't pursue what it is you know you're come to do, unhappiness can reverberate.
Hey, I want to tell you about my book, Some Dogs Talk. I wrote this book to teach animal communication among the pages of non-creepy, paranormal, realistic fiction. And because of the content and delivery, it is equally appealing to a wide age group. I think you'll find it fun to explore and actually probably maybe see yourself in the pages. Get your copy today.
This is also, like I said, where I have records of previous incarnations and I can look into them to do past life regressions or tell people about the past life experience. It is in this karmic chakra that you can have opportunity to confront any obligations that you've set up. And it is also the space where you can purge any old emotions and beliefs. In this space, you could recognize, as I've said, your life patterns within this lifetime. And all of the sudden, when you start resonating at the frequency of this chakra and really working with it, you can begin to expand your ability to trust life and your ability to see the larger pattern in your life and in life itself. Many times when I tap into the past life, what's stored there are both wounds and strengths, right? And what happens though is I then find them permeating throughout the body's physical and energy fields. And so it can actually, those past life experiences can disrupt the corresponding chakra in the body, or even outside the body, the other chakras. And so what's nice when people have their eureka of clearing past life experiences or understanding and comprehending, it helps to open up the other chakras as well, the associative chakras. I have worked with people with like bicuspid aortic valve, stuff like this, where they came in with this kind of thing and tapped into a past life where they were wounded in their heart. And so this came through, right? I also have several birthmarks on my body, and they make absolute sense, the chakra that they're nearest, because they are marking a spot of either strength or weakness in my energetic and my soul experience vibration at those spaces. And so that is very fascinating to me, right? When we have birthmarks that might mark us at certain chakras in the body that also relate to our karmic path in this incarnation. So the cool thing is like I said, when you clear the past life experience in the body through either sourcing the trauma or sourcing the ancient wounds or sourcing the strengths that people have come in with that they should just step into because they put it in their backpack as a skill to work with, and they need to honor that. What happens is that energy of that expansion and that energy of that acceptance readjusts in your energy field and opens you up in many ways, has the potential to open you up to greater truths in the chakras above the karmic chakra, being unity and divine consciousness, right? Because all of the sudden you're experiencing life from this greater plane of awareness. You're not stuck in a prism, right? You're up high looking at your life from a different perspective. So one of the beautiful spiritual gifts of the karmic chakra is it opens you up, and mental gifts is that it opens you up to this different awareness of your soul and your own essence and your own experience. And so sometimes we don't say, woe is me. We recognize the patterns and we say, oh, whoa, woe is me, man. I got this down. Not woe is in sadness, but woe is in, I know what to do here because I see this pattern, right? And it releases the mental difficulties at many times. So again, like I told you before, the karmic chakra has a deep connection to the sacral and the solar plexus of the physical chakras because it has to do with sacred contracts. And those two areas of the body are where I find stored sacred contracts. But I can't just clear them. I find in my work in the sacral and the solar plexus, I have to also clear them in the karmic. And these are some of the things that I think, some of the aspects of the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual that the karmic chakra offers you when you pay attention to it. When working with gemstones for this chakra, I use carnelian and larimar. The hand mudra I use is Naga mudra. It is a mudra of deeper insight. And it's believed to release negative energies from the body and the mind. And when I use it in my meditation time, I use it especially because it helps to provide answers to the quest for spiritual meaning in one's life. The yoga posture that I use is kneeling headstand with arms extended up behind the back, hands in the prayer position, or with index fingers pointing and the rest of the hand in prayer position. With this yoga posture, your arms are extended up to the heavens, and they are quite the straight shot in a direct line from pointing up to the heavens, straight down through your arms, down into your head as the crown of your head is touching the floor or the earth. And it is a great line of ascertaining insight from the heavens, if you will, or the higher realms of experience, or the source of where we all come. When your hands are in prayer position with the index fingers pointing, you're doing Shapana Mudra. This is where you interlace the fingers of both hands and extend your index fingers so that they're touching one another. The thumbs are crossed. And traditionally, women cross the left thumb over the right, and the men cross the right thumb over the left. And this one is a gesture of letting go, and it helps to remove negativities and frustrations, especially negative energy that we may have picked up even in previous incarnations. That's why I like to use that with the kneeling headstand. It is also in the karmic chakra that I source out the Akashic Records. This is the book of life for the person that I'm working with. I look into their karmic chakra, go up, 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 high into the realms. And I might even lead them in a vibrational meditation to visualize and source the information themselves as they go into the library that holds the Akashic Records and the story of their life and various lifetimes. Again, the karmic chakra is a vibrational frequency, just like all the other chakras. But when you step up, up, up through the chakras and you step into the space and the vibrational knowing of the karmic chakra, you are tapping again into more of no time, no time. And it's fascinating what you correct in your past or the amends you make in the past experience, how that reverberates and affects your life in this incarnation. I will definitely tell you more about that in future episodes because it is fascinating and I think you'll love it. Okay, my friend. So that's all about the karmic chakra in my opening number that I have. There'll be other episodes that follow where I highlight the different things that I've already mentioned. And again, I just want to recap that the karmic chakra, when I work with it, for me, when I source it out, it's a vibrational space that is in the energy field above the top of the head. And I was discovering that I could get a lot of information from this area of the energy being. But I also, like I said, noticed that it also wraps through in the energy field, like around the body, which is fantastic, right? Much like the higher consciousness is in like every cell of the being and permeating the whole of you. The karmic chakra is not just contained in that space, but it is where I go to source it.
Hey, Constance Messmer here. I just want to do a shout out of big thanks to all the members. I am so grateful. And all the people dropping in and giving little donations here and there and super thanks and all that stuff. I really appreciate you. You members and you people contributing and subscribers are what helped me bring this content to everyone, really. They both contribute to the cost of production, and I am definitely grateful for that. This stuff is not cheap to put out. Oh my God. Oh my God. So every little bit helps, and I am filled with gratitude that you're stepping up. I am not necessarily a joiner, not usually, but there are environmental issues in other organizations that I do belong to and I contribute to because I like to see them persevere. And I'm hoping you feel the same about this work. I hope you put it into practice in your life. That's another way that you could spread this work and help change our world, which is what I think it ultimately does. As you know, I think if everyone tuned into their soul senses, the world would be a much better place. So when you subscribe, it's a big yes vote for the content, and it helps spread the work across the planet. So when you put the lessons into practice and subscribe and like and share, you help me help you carry the lesson beyond you and me. And I am just really grateful.
Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.